Another episode of Done Dissertation Office Hours. I am your host, Dr. Ramon Goings. And in today's video, we are going to talk about group coaching versus one-on-one coaching and which is right for you. We get this question a lot from folks who are considering working with us. And so I want to break down what are the differences between group coaching and one-on-one? What are the pros and cons to them? And then also what differentiates how we approach coaching with the Velocity Group Coaching Program. So before we get started, go ahead and grab a friend, send this out to someone who is contemplating getting support, because I want to break down the types of support available to you, typically in the group versus the one-on-one, and talk about what is the right method or mode for you that will get you the result that you want. Because at the end of the day, we're all about getting the dissertation done. And for those who are just tuning in, I'm Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation, where we demystify the dissertation process so that doctoral students can write and defend their dissertation in 1 year or less and secure a postdoc or faculty position of their dreams. And so I look forward to chatting with y'all today. We're going to talk about group coaching versus one-on-one, which is right for you. And I'm going to preface this that, we do have some bias here in the Done Dissertation just about what is the best mode to get the support that you need. And we'll discuss why. But I want to talk about both so you kind of know what's available to you, what options you have, and then you can plan accordingly. So if you can, share this with 1, 2, or 3 people that you know in your network that might could benefit from this so that they get access to this information as well. And then as always, if you have questions, if you're on Instagram, you can drop them in the Q&A box, I think below. You can drop your questions. And on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. If you drop your questions, I can pull it up live on the screen and talk through whatever questions you may have as I'm talking. I'm just going to do as I normally do each week and just send this out to 1 or 2 groups. I want to make sure I get access to this, and then we will go ahead and get started. And for those who are just tuning in, if you can let me know in the comments where you're coming from, what's your name, where you're coming from, and what you have going on, whether you're a student, faculty, etc. Oh, Dr. Juanita, how you doing? Dr. Tooks, how you doing? That's one of our Done Dissertation Office Hour guests. Like, if you haven't seen her episode, go to our YouTube channel and look up our episode. She was really breaking down. And I remember when we talked, Dr. Juanita, you had just finished your dissertation. I think probably like a week. I think it was a week after you defended. So everything was fresh. So if you want some game and insight, definitely check out her episode on our YouTube channel. And so again, I'm going to share this out for 1 or 2 people real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. And Dr. Juanita, so far, how are you liking teachings? I think I've seen you're teaching this semester. So how are you enjoying the teaching process? I know it's always an adjustment, depending. I don't know if you were teaching before, but I would love to hear your experience so far. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. So today's conversation, what we're going to talk about is group coaching versus one-on-one, which is right for you. And again, we get this question a lot because folks are just trying to figure out what's the best route to go. So I really want to break down both, and then we can discuss what your best options are. And Dr. Juanita on Instagram said it's a lot. I'm teaching 2 classes. I haven't taught since 2019. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. I'm glad that you love every second of it, she says. But yeah, it is a lot. Regardless if it's on Zoom, WebEx, in person, whatever, navigating, teaching right now with COVID is definitely a challenge. So I definitely commend you for the work that you are doing. So yeah, for today's conversation, I want to talk about group coaching versus one-on-one, which is the best route for you. Typically, right? So I want to break things down first. So typically when folks are getting support for whatever your result is, for us, we help people get through the dissertation process, right? And so when you're getting that support to get through, there are a couple of ways to do it traditionally. Typically, there's their one-on-one format and there's a group coaching format. So for our one-on-one format, what it looks like is typically like kind of like how you're watching this right now. It's your coach, which would be me, and then you on the other end, and we're having this back and forth conversation, working through whatever it is we work through. Typically, if you're in a good one-on-one program, your coach will be giving you benchmarks to be working on, maybe weekly, bi-weekly. You meet those benchmarks, then you meet to discuss. You'll see a gambit. Sometimes one-on-one programs meet weekly, sometimes they meet bi-weekly. It depends. And so initially, the Done Dissertation started out as just a one-on-one coaching program. So I used to just coach with doctoral students across the country one-on-one. Initially start out in person one-on-one, and then COVID happened and then shift the model, which for a lot of businesses happened. And so now, we started providing in 2020, we continue with our one-on-one, but we were able to have a further reach than just being regional where I am in the Maryland and DC area. And so with your one-on-one, it's, me, your coach, you on the other end, we're going back and forth. A good coach will, again, give you some benchmarks. They will help guide you through the process sometimes they just say, hey, you only meet with me when you have something to provide me for feedback. So again, you got to be really clear and really self-motivated to really do well with the one-on-one approach. I think a lot of people are used to it because it resembles like a therapy session in some ways, kind of like the interaction that people are used to. But that's how typically that rolls out. So that's one way to do it. Like we did it, and we did that very well. We got a lot of doctoral students out of the process. Folks were finishing their proposals, coming to us with no proposal, finishing in 3 months. And then those who were past proposal defense were coming to us and finishing chapters 4 or 5, or however many chapters you had past your proposal defense and finishing in 3 to 4 months. So we had a lot of success with the one-on-one. Then there's the group model, right? So we have our one-on-one, which people are most familiar with. Then there's our group model, where some group programs are structured where it's the coach, and then it's a group, typically maybe in a cohort of folks who are maybe at the same place in whatever process it is, or are just a group of folks experiencing and wanting the same result. And so our case, we actually now group only coach in a group format with the Done Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program. And the way that's structured is that we actually provide group support where it's myself and my coaches, and we provide support to multiple doc students at the same time. And this is typically how it will look. Your programs, depending on where you're going, they could be structured very differently, where you meet as a group once a week, some once every other week, some once a month. So again, you have to be very mindful about what those are. In our program specifically, we actually focus on meeting with our clients weekly, because we find setting these week benchmarks are really important for folks to really stay focused on the dissertation and really keep it at the top of mind. But again, you will see a very different gambit of options with the group coaching model. But what I like about the group model is that you get not only the one-on-one support, and again, this is something you got to consider. And when you're looking for a group program, you want to make sure, I know a lot of folks figure like, I still want the one-on-one support. And so you have to find a group coaching program that provides that as well. And so our program is structured to do that. And how it works is that essentially you still get the same answers solved or answered that you would in a one-on-one session that you just ask your coach if y'all were just in kind of like this one-on-one like we are right now. But then on top of that, you have a community of people who are also experiencing the same thing, who also have perspectives, excuse me, who also have insight on the topic that you're studying or on the question that you might have, and maybe have been further along in the process than you, and can help also address the question. And so you get a benefit when you have the group model where you get that support, but you still get to ask the same questions that you would as in if you did in the one-on-one. But I think this is important because I want y'all to start thinking about, if you're considering getting coaching and you're really looking for support, you really got to start considering what is the best venue or best option for me. And there are some pros and cons, right? When you look at the one-on-one, the pro is that, you can be in an environment that is just you and a coach. A lot of times if you're able to build that rapport with the coach, you can easily, feel like you can bring all your questions to the coach and y'all can develop a great rapport and bond, right? There's definitely a pro there. There's also sometimes flexibility around scheduling. It might just be you and your coach, and you can figure out what schedule works best for the both of you. That's definitely a pro. But also when you're considering a group coaching model or a one-on-one option, some things you got to consider is that it's only you and the coach. So while some see that as a pro, I see that actually as a con, because as a doc student in particular, when you're trying to secure faculty positions and you're trying to build a network for yourself, only you and the coach, your network is only as big as what the coach can provide you, in addition to whatever network you've already had coming into working with them in that type of relationship, right? And so that's just something you got to consider. And then also with the one-on-one model, it's just really up to you to get things done. There's no one, the coach is going to motivate you to an extent, but there is no one else that can really be pushing you to get things done if you don't have that outside support. And so again, that's something you got to consider. But when you're looking at a group model for coaching, things can look a lot different, because what I find that is impactful about a group coaching program is that not only are you getting that one-on-one attention to get your questions answered, but then in particular, when you work with a program like us, how we structured is that you not only have your network that you built, but now you have a network of other doc students who are also like-minded. and also looking to secure faculty positions. So you instantaneously have built a network and a cohort of people who are going to go places all through the country, all over the world. And you have that network because you all work together in the Velocity Group Coaching Program. And what you all don't recognize right now, if you haven't, when you're trying to secure these faculty positions, you really have to consider your opportunities. A lot of times are dictated not by what you know, because you all are brilliant and smart in your own right, right? But it's actually dictated about what does your faculty or what does your network, what opportunities can they provide you with? So a lot of times you're as good as your network. And this gets really important because I know a lot of you are trying to finish dissertation, trying to secure a faculty position. But if you don't have that network, sometimes you miss out on opportunities that could be easily available to you if you had the network. And this is something that you have to start considering and really thinking about now, because oftentimes we think about it and it's too late. You got your doctorate and you realize you had no position, but you didn't even build a network while you had the opportunity during your doc program. And I think this is really, really important. And also, here's how it works, is that when you're in a group model and you have access to cohort members and people you can work with, you're able to instantaneously build a network based on the people that you know. So imagine you're in a cohort with 12 other doc students. Whoever their network is, you have access to and can tap in as long as you build those relationships during your time in the program. So I think that's a really benefit with folks to really consider. But oftentimes, what I think is a difference why people sometimes don't like the group model is because you're concerned with about getting everything right and being afraid to ask questions and getting things wrong with your dissertation, or asking a question that you think others might see you as not being as smart as you think you are. And I want to let you know that is okay. Like, I understand that is part of the game, right? But I want to let you know, I want to give you some strategy. Your job right now is to fail as fast as possible. There is no other way to do it but to fail as fast as you can. And thank you to everybody. I got some folks here who are tuning in on LinkedIn. We have Kelly Della says hi. Hi, Kelly. Hope all is well. Kelly, where are you coming from? And then we also have Megan Ray, Augusta, Georgia, Walden University, currently in final stages of coursework. Megan, it's a pleasure to interact with you. I just wanted to give a shout out to folks who are tuning in. Again, if you like this, and share this with some other people who can gain some insight and value. But when folks are considering, as I went back to, is when folks are considering the group model, don't be afraid of getting things wrong. I think this is the biggest block that a lot of students have when they are deciding between one-on-one versus group coaching, because they know that they need the network. They know that they want to get into these spaces that they don't have access to right now, and being in a network of other doc students can help them get to where they want to go. But they're scared of asking the wrong question and getting things wrong. But I want to let you all know right now, you want to be wrong as fast as you can, because what happens is when you're wrong, you get to learn from those lessons and you don't make the same mistake again. And I want to share with you an experience that I had when I was a doc student. I was trying to write for publication. I really got involved in the writing process. And my first peer-reviewed journal article I wrote to the journal. I got it all together. I wrote it to the journal. I was like, this is perfect. This is a great article. I submitted to the journal, and literally a day later, the journal sends it back to me. And they did what's called a desk reject. And so a desk reject is essentially when you've written an article for publication, you submit it to the journal, and for reasons sometimes are about you didn't fulfill the requirements of the journal, or sometimes the editor didn't like your paper or doesn't think it's going to be successful, they instantly desk reject it. And you literally don't get any feedback. You just get this kind of template letter that just says thanks, but no thanks, right? And so I submitted a paper as a doc student, and I was mad, or I thought that I was going to get things right. But then luckily, this particular journal, when they sent their letter, the desk reject letter back, they had a little paragraph in it that said, typically articles for this journal stick between, I think it was 1,000 to 2,500 words for this section of the journal. I was trying to write in a specials area of the journal where they talk about new ideas in the field. And that little failure right there gave me the insight I needed to revamp my paper. So they said I needed to be between 1,000 to 2,500 words, or actually 1,500 words. And what I learned from that experience was like, oh, word count matters. And what I also learned is that, I actually need to be more diligent about reading the aims and scope of the journal, because I probably could have figured this out before I made this mistake. And that became a habit of and why I've been successful publishing, because the first thing I do now is I read the aims and scope of the journal. So I learn about what is needed, what's required, and then I plan accordingly. And so this is something you got to consider. I was willing to fail fast, but I see a lot of folks when they're considering working with a coach, when they hear the group model, they are so concerned not about getting the work done in the transformation. You're concerned about how you look to other people. And let me let you know this: when you got your doctorate, it don't even matter how you look to other people. It's a fair game. Everyone has a terminal degree. Everybody's colleagues. I need for you to get to that point. So I don't want you to let your own fears and um, ideas and perceptions of yourself being seen as weak or unworthy by asking questions that you might find someone else may look down on you for from getting your result. You have to be willing. If you want to get through the dissertation process, you got to be willing to put your ego aside and really go at this thing, ask the questions that you need answered, and really push towards getting the dissertation done. That is the way to do it. But I find for folks, when you come into the group environment, we help you strategize that, because again, not only do you have access to the coach as me, as well as my other coaches, then you have access to a network of other students who are experiencing the same thing that you're going through. There is power in the network, and I want you all to really be considering that, because that's such a vital component when you're looking at group coaching. And then another piece I want you all to consider is, particularly when working with the Velocity Group Coaching Program, is that when you find a great group coaching program, I would say a great group coaching program is a curriculum-based group coaching program. And I see that's where we differentiate ourselves from everyone else on the market, because a lot of folks provide the strategy or might have the coaching. You might can drop in on a coach, meet with them whenever you'd like. But what ends up happening is that there's no curriculum, there's no structure. So literally what happens when you work with us, we take you through our done dissertation curriculum, and we take you step by step through the dissertation process, regardless of where you are. If you're at your proposal phase, if you're past your proposal, working on your final pieces to defense, we help you strategize from the beginning on how to select committee members, how to actually write the emails that you need to send to solicit committee members. We literally break down each step of the process in our curriculum so that you can implement and execute. That right there differentiates us from everybody else on the market who is just out here coaching and trying to help you figure out what to do. Like, no, we have a proven curriculum that works. We get our students out of their programs, but we take you step by step through not only the dissertation process, but also our curriculum teaches you how do you secure a faculty position. Because everybody who works with us is looking to become faculty in some capacity, whether that is, getting your doctorate and being a consultant and then teaching on the side, to your folks who want to get a tenure track faculty position. We work with folks who are in all areas of the spectrum. And so this is something you have to consider when you're thinking about getting into the group coaching program. You're looking for a curriculum-based group coaching program. That's exactly what we provide in the Velocity Group Coaching Program. And again, I want you all to start considering the reasons why a lot of times you don't consider working in the group, why you want one-on-one, is because you're afraid of failure. And if you took nothing from today, I want you to start really thinking more about, how do I fail fast? Because that's an opportunity to learn, grow, and move from, and then attack, and execute. When you put all those things in motion, there's no reason why you can't finish your dissertation in 1 year or less. And again, I wanted to talk about that today, just to jump on real quick to have this conversation, because I hear a lot of folks who are trying to figure out, well, what's the right model? I don't want the group. I'm scared of the group because I have to be vulnerable in front of other people. But I want to let you all know, if you want a proven process and model to get the result that you want, you definitely need to work with us in our Velocity Group Coaching Program, because I think it's really important that you have the community and have the support that you need to finish. And so on Instagram, Talk to Amber says, how do your clients manage being in your program and the doc program at the same time? So Amber, that's a great question. A lot of our doc students in our program, some still take coursework while they are in our program. It just depends on how your program is structured, right? So a lot of our students are in programs where they are at the end. So they're just writing their dissertation. Excuse me. They're just writing their dissertation. So they're able to be in the program, and we help them step by step through. So we just had our coaching call last night, and literally on the call, we're working with folks. All right, what's your goal for the next week? So some people are saying, hey, I'm going to work on a piece of chapter 3. Or I have a client right now who joined us in January who's getting ready to defend in the beginning of March. So they're working on finalizing their study and putting their proposals or their final defense slides together. So everyone's kind of managing it at their own pace. We do provide strategy if it comes to a point where folks may feel like there's too much going on in both places. But I think it's pretty easy. And I think what happens is if you've been stuck for so long, you need the support and need the structure, regardless of where you are in your program. And that's what we provide. Hey, Amber, let me know. Are you in a program where you're doing coursework as you write the dissertation, or are you in a program where you are do all your coursework, do comps, and then do your dissertation? But it works both ways. Yeah, what folks don't consider is like when it hurts bad enough and you're tired of paying tuition and you want to get out your program, you'll put the work in and do whatever you need to do. And we have a proven process. Folks come in, they learn our method, they build their confidence, they start executing. And when you build your confidence and you execute, a done dissertation is near, and you'll be definitely off to the races. Perfect. We're wrapping up coursework this semester. Perfect. Yeah, so you definitely should be, if you're interested, definitely reach out to us. We have a May cohort that's going to start, and we have an event that we're going to be telling you more about in the next about 2-3 weeks. So definitely be on the lookout for that, Amber. Okay, chapter 1 is due for me March the 6th. Oh, that's right around the corner. How is that coming along so far? That's great that you're working towards getting chapters done. That's my suggestion. For those who are still in coursework, if you can write your dissertation, or even start thinking about what is it that you want to study as you are moving along your process. Yeah, so Amber, let me know, where are you in terms of writing? Is that March 6th? Does that look doable, or do you need, are you getting stuck with chapter 1? I'm officially starting tomorrow. Oh, Amber, we got strategize on that. So you got, I hope if you know the literature, you can write your chapter in less than a month, for sure. So I see my clients do it all the time. So definitely that. But I want you to make sure that you get started, even after this live. Get started tonight. I'm gonna shoot you a DM to see, did you start writing your dissertation? If someone else is on here, can check in on, talk to Amber and say, did you start writing yet? Because I want to make sure that you are moving forward, because that deadline is coming up quick. Perfect. She says it's doable. My chair is engaged and supportive. That's great. When you have a great chair, that makes things so much easier with your dissertation process. I wish that was the case, that everybody had a supportive chair, but that is not the case, from what I'm seeing with my clients. So with that, do folks have any questions about, trying to figure out what you want to do with your dissertation? Oh, perfect. So I've been to your site, asked Naila Harvey about you. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, Naila is good people. So that's perfect. Shout out to Naila, who's helping folks write their books. So if you have somebody you need support on how to write your book, Naila Harvey is the person to go to for that. Any questions about the dissertation, about what you've been contemplating around group versus one-on-one? What's the best route for you? Be glad to take your questions. And thank you for everybody just joined. Dr. Danny 1922 just joined on Instagram. Thank you for joining. We appreciate the support. And as always, if you can send this out to another person, share this on your Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you're seeing this. If you could just share this out, it'd be so helpful, so we can get more people to get the support that they need, to make sure they're not going through this dissertation process alone. And again, so if you're a doctoral student and you're looking to get support, there are 2 ways that we can work together. One right now that I want you to get access to is our 10 dissertation mistakes that doctoral students make guide. It's a free guide that you can get access to. If you're on Instagram, you can click the link in our bio to get access to it, or visit www.dissertationmistake.com, and I'm going to drop it in on Instagram. And if you're watching this everywhere else, you'll see it on your screen right now. But if you visit www.dissertationmistake.com, you can get access to a free guide. And I'm just dropping this in on Instagram. And if you need more support, we do have a university partnership program where we actually can work with your doctoral program and to provide the support that you might need as well. So first, grab the guide. It's free to you. It's a great resource. And then that allows you to become part of our community, so you can know when we have exclusive releases, when we have new events popping up, when we have new initiatives, so you can make sure that you stay abreast of what we have going on. And then you can learn more about what we have going on with our university partnership program, because I think that'd be very helpful if you're trying to get the support that you need to figure out how the heck do I get through this dissertation process in the fastest time available. We got Naila Harvey on Instagram. Naila, what's going on? Yeah, if you're on Instagram, inharv.com, if you're someone who's trying to write a book, if you finish a dissertation and you're trying to write your book, for those who have their doctorate, trying to write your book, go see Naila. Definitely can help you out with doing that. All right. Well, I don't see any questions from folks, so I'm going to jump off. But I want to again tell you a little bit more about our Dissertation University Partnership Program. So if you're watching this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, you're going to see a video to learn a little bit more about what we have going on. And for the rest of you folks, I look forward to chatting with you all soon on next week on another episode of Dissertation Office Hours. And make sure you tune in this Thursday. We're going to be talking with Dr. Joel Boyce. He's going to talk about how he navigated the dissertation process, and then how, as researchers and those who have ideas for products that are for kids in schools or even teachers or school leaders, how you can leverage your research expertise to secure a school district contract. The interview is super dope. Like, he really just breaks down the process so that you really know what's ahead. And so I want to make sure that you all tune into that episode on Thursday, when you can learn from Dr. Joel Boyce about how to use your research to then secure school district contracts. And again, I look forward to talking with you all next week. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM wherever you are seeing this. All right, good people, take care. Hi, my name is Dr. Ramon Goings, and I'm founder of the Done Dissertation, where we demystify the dissertation process so that doctoral students can write and defend their dissertation in 1 year or less. I am excited to tell you more about our Done Dissertation University Partnership Program. The Done Dissertation University Partnership Program is a professional development program that is designed to enhance university resources so that doctoral students can write and defend their dissertation in record time. As you know, approximately 50% of doctoral students who navigate their coursework successfully do not finish their doctoral program. And it's not because they're not smart enough, it's not because we haven't taught them the skill set to do it, it's because they don't have a understanding of the dissertation process. And the dissertation is typically the step in the process that removes a lot of students from earning their degree. At the core of our Done Dissertation University Partnership Program curriculum is my book, 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation, a guide to navigating the dissertation process and finishing in record time. In this book, I provide actionable strategies that doctoral students can implement immediately to ensure that they get through the dissertation process in 1 year or less. And with this, I also teach students how to manage their busy schedule and reclaim their time in order to finish their dissertation, strategies to overcome perfectionism and procrastination, the science and art of selecting a dissertation chair and committee members, and finally, how to prepare for and become over-prepared for the dissertation proposal or final defense. It is without a doubt that doctoral students need the enhanced support to get through the dissertation process. But what I find most supportive about the Done Dissertation University Partnership Program is that it enhances the resource that you're able to provide your students. We essentially want to make it easy for your doctoral program to ensure that all of your students, when they enter your doors as first-year doctoral students, leave with their doctorate, because that not only enhances the lives of your students, but it also enhances the reputation of your institution. And we want to be here to support your doctoral students and your institution to be well known for supporting doctoral students getting through the dissertation process. From our experience working with over 100 doctoral students really find support of having that extra guidance in addition to their coursework, in addition to the dissertation chair and committee. And this is exactly why we created the University Partnership Program.
The biggest lesson for me, and programmatically, especially because we've now been working with our first four cohorts in the program, is I think we start pretty early in our program in terms of laying the foundation for like the dissertation of practice writing. But I feel like in our work together, it's highlighted that like there's not really, you could even start earlier. And so I think setting sort of the foundations and frames with cohorts 3 and 4, who we've started working with this summer, I think has helped me to see like students actually will find themselves to be more in the driver's seat if we start earlier. And if we don't start earlier, they're sort of waiting for the program and faculty and staff to tell them, you know, you should start this part of the journey. But if we start this work and start the planning work around the dissertation, not in like deep tactical ways, but laying the frame of like the student is in the driver's seat of writing their dissertation of practice and should consistently be networking and planning for this and getting their family on board with this, I think are things that have been really helpful to us programmatically.
I think so many times you hear from other doctoral students and PhD graduates, you always hear how hard it is, and you always hear the grueling process, but he really helped to have a perspective that it's possible, that if you plan accordingly and if you really put in the work, that it can be a positive experience.
I am so happy about the information I learned today. I've been struggling with my topic, but one thing that I learned from Dr. Goings is that I need to learn more about the topic that I am researching. Instead of me just sitting there trying to figure out what it is I'm going to research, I need to learn more about the topic, see who has written about the topic, and then learn how to extend that information.
If you find that the University Partnership Program is something that you're interested in, here's what I want you to do. Visit www.thedonedissertation.com and learn more about the University Partnership Program. On our website, you can click a button to learn more about our program and to apply to work with us. And again, if you have any questions, I look forward to talking with you soon.